Life is often a blend of chaos and order, with some seeing randomness, others believing in destiny, and a few wondering if we're in a simulation. Strange glitches and eerie coincidences might even hint at cracks in this supposed system.
I'm going to show you how black bottom.
That's real good.
In this video, we'll uncover some astonishing examples of these uncanny events, often called synchronicity. Coined by researcher Alan Vaughan, synchronicity describes meaningful coincidences that defy logic, challenging our understanding of the natural world and hinting at something beyond. Let's dive right in and explore these mind-bending events that challenge reality as we know it. Number 10. A dollar bill of destiny. As a young woman, Esther whimsically wrote her name on a $1 bill. Years later, after enduring a difficult relationship, she made a bold vow. She would only marry the man who found that bill. Time passed, and she met Paul Gray. One evening, as Paul was paying for their meal at a restaurant, he handed over a bill with Esther's name scrawled on it, the very one she had written on years earlier. For Esther, this was more than chance. It was a sign from the universe. She married Paul, declaring at the altar, this could only be the work of destiny. Number 9. The Tale of Two Laura Buxtons. In 2001, a girl named Laura Buxton released a red helium balloon from her home in Staffordshire, England. Attached was a note with her name and address. The balloon traveled over 225 kilometers before landing in the yard of a man who, believing it belonged to his neighbor, delivered it to a nearby house. To his amazement, the neighbor's daughter was also named Laura Buxton. Even stranger, the two Lauras, despite having never met before, were the same age, bore a striking resemblance to each other, and owned identical pets, a black Labrador, a rabbit, and a guinea pig. Coincidence, or something far more enigmatic? Number 8. The Dubarry Legacy. On February 13, 1746, a Frenchman named Jean-Marie Dubarry was executed for the heinous crime of patricide. Exactly 100 years later, to the day, another man named Jean-Marie Dubarry met the same fate for the same crime. While this coincidence of name, crime, and timing seems unfathomable, researchers uncovered a surprising explanation. Jean-Marie was, in fact, the great-grandson of Jean-Marie Dubarry. Both men shared a family history marred by instability, making this chilling pattern both extraordinary and tragic. Number 7. Halley's Comet and Mark Twain's Prophecy. Halley's Comet is a celestial marvel that passes Earth approximately every 76 years. On November 30, 1835, the comet made a spectacular appearance. On the same day, Mark Twain was born. The celebrated author famously predicted that he would leave the world with the comet, just as he had arrived. Remarkably, Twain's prediction came true. In 1910, as Halley's Comet graced the skies once more, Twain passed away, fulfilling his extraordinary prophecy. Number 6. Lincoln and Kennedy. The lives of Presidents Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy are woven with chilling parallels. Both leaders championed monumental strides in civil rights during their presidencies. Each endured the heartbreak of losing a son while in the White House. In an uncanny twist, Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy, and Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln. Both were assassinated on a Friday, alongside their wives, and were laid to rest in mahogany coffins. Their assassins, John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald, are both remembered by their three names. These eerie connections continue to mystify historians and provoke debates about whether such coincidences are truly random. Number 5. The Unsinkable Survivor. Violet Jessup's story is nothing short of extraordinary, a testament to resilience and luck. Despite a grim tuberculosis diagnosis in her youth, she defied expectations and thrived. At just 23, Violet began her career aboard the White Star Line's luxury liners. In 1911, she survived the RMS Olympic's collision with another vessel. The very next year, she was aboard the doomed RMS Titanic when it struck an iceberg, escaping in Lifeboat 16. During World War I, while serving as a nurse, she endured yet another disaster when the HMHS Britannic sank after hitting a naval mine. Time and again, Violet emerged unscathed, earning her the enduring title of the unsinkable woman. Remarkably, she lived to the age of 83, leaving behind a legacy of survival that borders on the miraculous. Number 4. The Revenge of the Bullet. In 1893, a Texan lumberjack named Hendricks found himself at the center of a tragic tale. After breaking a promise to marry a young woman, she took her own life in despair. Consumed by grief and rage, her brother sought revenge, firing a shot that grazed Hendricks's face before fleeing. Fate, however, had other plans. Decades later, in 1913, the brother returned to the same tree where the bullet had lodged. Attempting to fell it with dynamite, he unwittingly dislodged the very bullet. In an incredible twist, it struck him fatally, a poetic, if unsettling, turn of events. Number 3. Parish and her childhood treasure. Sometimes, fate works in the gentlest of ways. While wandering through a Parisian bookstore, American novelist Anne Parish stumbled across a book she had loved as a child, Jack Frost and Other Stories. Delighted, she showed it to her husband. But what happened next was beyond coincidence. Opening the book, he found an inscription: Anne Parish, 209 Weber Street, Colorado Springs. It was her own childhood copy, lost to time, but somehow returned to her across continents, a heartwarming reunion with a piece of her past. Number 2. A lecture's grim irony. In 1981, South African astronomer Daniel Tudor captivated his audience with a poignant lecture on the unpredictable nature of death, emphasizing how it can strike without warning. His message was a stark reflection on the fragility of life, urging listeners to appreciate every moment. But in a haunting twist of fate, his words took on an eerie, prophetic weight. Shortly after delivering his talk, Tudor tragically choked on a piece of candy and passed away. His sudden and untimely death was not only devastating, but also an unsettling reminder of the very unpredictability he had spoken of, a chilling testament to life's delicate and fleeting nature.